You know, in the world of options trading, most strategies are all about trying to predict which way a stock is going to go. But what if you could profit from something way more certain? In this explainer, we're diving into how traders can actually use the inevitable passage of time to their advantage.
Seriously, think about this for a second. Most investing strategies are all about picking a direction, up or down. But what if there was a way to potentially make money when a stock is just flat, when it does absolutely nothing? It sounds totally backward, but it's the core idea behind the really powerful strategies we're breaking down today.
So how is that even possible? Well, the secret ingredient, the magic that makes this whole thing work, is a concept called time decay. It's really the engine that drives both of the strategies we're about to get into, so getting a handle on this is absolutely key.
Okay, so what in the world is time decay, or theta as the pros call it? Honestly, the best way to picture it is with the melting ice cube analogy. An option that's about to expire is like a tiny little ice cube on a hot summer day. It's going to melt or lose its value super fast. Now, an option with tons of time left, that's a giant block of ice. It's still melting, sure, but way slower. The game here is to sell that fast-melting cube while we own the slow-melting block and pocket the difference in that melt speed. Pretty cool, right?
And that brings us right to our first strategy, the calendar spread. This is the purest, most direct way to play that melting ice cube game we were just talking about, designed specifically to profit from that time decay.
The setup is actually beautiful in its simplicity. First, you sell that near-term option. That's our fast-melting ice cube. Then you buy a longer-term option, our big, slow-melting block of ice. And here is the absolute most important rule for a calendar spread, so listen up. Both of those options have the exact same strike price. That's the key.
So why the same strike price? What's the big deal? Well, it's because with this strategy, you're not betting on direction. Your bet is on stability. You want the stock to just hang out, to stay pinned right near that strike price, so you can let those different rates of time decay do all the heavy lifting for you.
So what's the home run? The absolute sweet spot for this trade? It's when the stock is trading exactly at your chosen strike price on the very day that short-term option you sold expires. Bam! Right at that moment, the option you sold has basically melted into a puddle, its value has decayed the most, and that's where you find your maximum potential profit.
Okay, that's great if you think a stock is going to flatline. But let's be real, that doesn't happen all the time, right? What if you think the stock might move a little bit? What if you've got a slight hunch? Well, that's where our next strategy, the diagonal spread, comes into play. Think of it like a souped-up version of the calendar, with a clever little directional twist. All right, the setup is going to look super familiar. You still sell a near-term option, and you still buy a longer-term one. But, and this is the game changer, look at step 3. The options have different strike prices. This one tiny little change completely transforms the entire play.
And the result of that one change? It's huge. By using different strike prices, let's say you buy a lower strike and sell a higher one, you're basically building a bullish lean into your trade. You're not just betting on time anymore. You're now combining that awesome benefit of time decay with a directional opinion. This gives you the flexibility to profit if the stock drifts a little bit higher or lower.
Okay, so now we've got two strategies that are pretty similar, but have one massive difference. One's for a dead flat market, the other's for a market with a little bit of a lean. Let's put them head to head so you can see exactly when you might use one over the other.
All right, this slide is basically the whole explainer in a nutshell. Over on the left, you've got the calendar spread. Remember, same strike prices. This is your go-to for a neutral, non-moving market where the goal is simply to profit from time decay. Now, on the right, the diagonal spread. The key? Different strike prices. This is what you use when you think the market has a bit of a directional bias. Here, the goal is to profit from both time decay and that little bit of stock movement. It all comes down to your forecast, flat or not so flat.
And here's the absolute simplest way to remember all this. Just look at this table. Both strategies use different expiration dates. That's a given. It's what makes them time spreads. The only structural difference is the strike price. Are they the same? It's a calendar for a flat outlook. Are they different? It's a diagonal for a directional view. It really is that simple. Now, before you run off and get all excited about this, we need to have a little reality check. These are not magic bullets. They are not set-it-and-forget-it trades. They come with their own unique set of risks that you absolutely have to understand before you even think about trying them. And let me be crystal clear about this. These are advanced strategies. Seriously, they're not for somebody just starting out. To even have a chance at success, you need a really solid foundation in how options trading works before you even consider putting one of these on.
So what are the big gotchas here? Well, first off, both of these spreads love quiet, low volatility markets. Their biggest enemy is a big, sudden, unexpected price move in either direction. That can lead to losses fast. They're also really sensitive to shifts in implied volatility, which is basically the market's fear gauge. If volatility suddenly spikes, it can hurt these positions, even if the stock price doesn't budge. At the end of the day, you really need a deep understanding of how theta behaves in the wild.
And all of this leaves us with a final kind of cool thought to chew on. So much of trading is about trying to predict the future, trying to guess where a stock is headed next. But these spreads, they offer a totally different angle. They make you ask the question, is successful trading really about predicting the future? Or is it about mastering the one thing we know is always certain, the simple, unstoppable passage of time?